Hi, all. Thanks so much for being here. So, for the second time in the last, I'd say 48 hours, I've heard some interesting commentary from really.
On From Hollywood to Buckingham Palace, the fallout has been to ignore. But what exactly happened, and why are the royals reportedly in? Today, I'm breaking it all down. Every shocking detail, every reaction, and what this means for Meghan's reputation moving forward. Let's get into it.
From people I really respect. One is Sally Bedell Smith, who's an incredible royal author and who's spoken to me personally about her time with Princess Diana. She spent a significant amount of time with King Charles, who was probably Prince Charles, when Sally spent a lot of her time with the king, about how this failure for Meghan professionally is not something to celebrate in the eyes of the British royal family, because there are real fears that out of desperation, out of an act of desperation and out of an act to get back to where she once was immediately post Oprah Winfrey interview, because I think the further we got away from the Oprah Winfrey interview, there were a lot of legitimate questions asked about the credibility of her claims. But initially, after the Oprah Winfrey interview, there was just a ton of support and celebration towards Meghan and Prince Harry. I don't know if you remember this, but there is a reporter named Max who currently covers the royals at CNN. I believe it's Max Foster, but I'd have to double check. But Max, at the time, almost immediately did a story for CNN questioning multiple claims made by Meghan in the Oprah Winfrey interview. Again, we're like 4 years out, almost, a week and four years out from that interview.
Just when you thought things couldn't get worse for Meghan, another disaster. Reports are swirling that her highly anticipated podcast series has been after just one season. Insiders say this was meant to be a success for her, but instead, it's turned into a mess.
Within days of that interview, Max Foster, he did an interview, did a package for CNN about all of the claims that were in question. Things like, did Meghan secretly get married prior to her wedding? The answer was no. The Archbishop said there's no way that happened. So just all of these little details. And that was up for less than 24 hours before it was ripped off CNN.com. And it was clear to everyone at the time that Harry and Meghan's team complained about it and had it pulled. But I think it's important that we do acknowledge that. And then there were people like me and other commentators who were in the really tough position of being asked questions about racism and having to navigate that and having to juggle that. Because if you said you didn't believe it, then you were, I have a notification on my phone. I'm going to mute that. If you question anything at all, then you were accused of racism. And it was just a really difficult time. But there's no question in my mind that Meghan felt like that was a success at the time. And she did a victory lap and she really felt good about herself. And she and Prince Harry slowly saw this decline. I think Spare was when, it's a combination between Spare and the South Park episode. Glorious South Park episode, where there really started to be a decline in Harry and Meghan's popularity. But it was also just Harry and Meghan talking more. And people having time to digest what they said and then having time to fact check what they said. But, we saw the decline start. I remember being kind of shocked at all of the MCs and hosts of Hollywood award shows taking a dig at them. And I remember Jimmy Kimmel dedicating multiple episodes of his late night, like his monologue and intro on his late night show, to teasing Prince Harry about his Todger and Harry's book Spare and the weird way he spoke about Princess Diana, his mother.
Critics and royal watchers alike are calling this a major setback. So what went wrong? And why is this one of Meghan's blunders yet? The royal family has been trying to distance themselves from Meghan's controversies, but latest embarrassment has them reportedly in full-blown mode.
I know that Harry and Meghan miss not only that victimhood popularity that they generated, weaponizing a really sensitive topic and generating a lot of positive feedback and support from that, but also they desperately miss the success they had as senior working members of the British royal family. And that's why you see them try to recreate it with these faux royal tours. And when I was talking to Sally Bedell Smith today, and I'll get into some Daily Mail commentary in a second, but when I was talking to Sally today, she said there's real concern that really, that angry, vengeful, bitter person we saw sitting down across from Oprah Winfrey, that she will let that person out again, and that she will write a book, that she will resort to continuing to trash the royal family because she misses this popularity that she no longer has. And what are the odds that people will react in a similar way now that the Queen is gone? Well, I'd say that the King has cancer, so I would hope that she would be sensitive about the fact that the King is currently suffering from cancer and doing everything in his power treatment-wise to heal, something she's probably not hyper aware of, considering the fact that Prince Harry rarely is in direct communication with his father, but allegedly. But I do think that it is something that is on their minds. Could this potentially be what she resorts to next? I mean, what's her podcast going to be about? Is her podcast going to be about freezing water? I don't know. But so I heard this comment from Sally Bedell Smith, there's real concern that she could write a book. There's, could it be worse? Would it be worse than Spare? She's made several comments in the past about discovering old journals she wrote at Frogmore Cottage, how she didn't ever sign an NDA. And there were initial reports that there were multiple book deal signed with Penguin Random House. And so far there's been the Bench book and Spare, and, what else could be out there? I don't know. Or what else could she have pitched them? I don't know. Clearly Penguin Random House is going to jump at the opportunity for any more royal mudslinging, but I also think there could be a cookbook on the horizon. Pasta. One dish pasta. But I want to tell you what then I discovered on Daily Mail Plus from Amanda Platel. She says the royals are right to fear Meghan Markle's next money-making scheme. So I see this after my conversation with, oh my gosh, are you serious? I see this after my conversation with Sally. And of course, I have to open it up on my phone because I'm not logged into Daily Mail Plus here. Come on, guys, come on. And she's basically saying the same thing, that there's such an air of desperation coming off of the Sussexes, specifically in that series. Please like me, please like me, please like me. Having an entire show dedicated to inviting people on just to compliment the host.
Sources claim that behind the palace walls, there's the about how this affects the monarchy's image. Could this be the final straw for Meghan's connection to the royals? The internet has been kind to Meghan over this. Social media is flooded with reactions, and let me tell you, they are. From former supporters turning their backs to news outlets the situation, it's safe to say this PR nightmare isn't going away anytime soon.
That the fear is they could disappoint the royals even more by continuing to sell secrets. So she says, after the universal heap thrown at Meghan Markle's make or break Netflix series With Love, Meghan, my fear now is that the Duchess of Sussex will go spare and write her own devastating book. I'm admittedly no fan of the woman who is demanding to be called Meghan Sussex, but Even I could not have predicted the tidal wave of mockery that swept the world following the release of her new show. She'd put all her eggs in this basket. It was her last chance to redeem herself with Netflix after producing 2 flops for the streaming giant, with her and Harry's $100 million contract due to expire this year. I guess Heart of Invictus, Polo, and Live to Lead. What did she not produce for them? Maybe Heart of Invictus? Because she just says she produced 2 flops. And you know what? Technically, based on the numbers we saw today, I think it was over 500,000 households watched With Love Meghan in the first 5 days, which was 3 times less than watched Harry and Meghan in the same time period. I wouldn't necessarily consider With Love Meghan an analytical success. She says, true, it's still impressively hit number 7 in the Netflix charts this week on a Tuesday. But I'd imagine for all the wrong reasons. People like to watch it because it's so bad. And as for the second series that Meghan fans are hailing as proof of its success, that was filmed back-to-back with the first as a job lot. Yes, Deadline has reported that, and I've said this a million times because I think it's important. The second season was greenlit with the first season. This was likely a contractual agreement and a negotiation that would benefit Meghan Markle, because a second season would be interpreted, as it is, by the general public, as a win. And then for Netflix, it gives them time to space out these episodes so that when there is actually tangible product available for sale, they'll have a show that's running at the same time to promote it, which would be beneficial for them. Now, media insiders suggest Netflix isn't too worried if the show is a monumental dud, or if Meghan is ridiculed in the U.S. from the U.S. to the U.K., because it all means With Love Meghan is getting huge publicity, and that's what matters. Is that what matters? What matters is you get your return on investment, and I don't know if that's necessarily in bad PR. I don't know if that's in necessarily negative commentary, especially in the city I'm living in, because people are saying, what did Netflix get out of this?
So, where does Meghan go from here? Can she recover from yet another public disaster? Some say she'll bounce back, while others believe this could be and how the world sees her. And let's not forget, this isn't just about Meghan. This drama has ripple effects on Prince Harry, their brand, and even their business ventures.
Did they attract any new subscribers? Because that would be the ultimate objective, right? You're creating such good content that you attract new signups, and the new signups are so in love with the service that they stay. I don't know and I had one of you that I know watches this channel. You're a cutie. I'm not going to call you out, but you specifically told me that you watched the series on like some sort of different platforms to not give her the views. And I'm not going to call you out, but I know some of you went to great lengths to not give Meghan the watch. But interesting that she says media insiders suggest Netflix isn't worried, because I saw 2 specific stories that said that they were not only worried, but they regretted this investment, and that they had no clue how to roll out the retail arm of her shop, which is just appalling to me. You sit back and go, you had no idea how to roll out the retail arm? Meghan, did you not do your due diligence in confirming that the people that you're working with had some sort of strategy in place and knew how to make this lifestyle show and brand, which surprising, does it surprise you that they're not named the same thing? It surprises me. But didn't have an existing plan to I guess, unleash all of the jam on us, our preserves, or whatever she's calling it now. She's talking about some of the negative headlines here in the States. And then she says, the irony is that the royals are desperate for Meg's show to succeed, as many colleagues As my many colleagues and royal expert Richard Eden has said, it would mean she and Harry would not need to exploit their royal connections again. As it is, Mrs. Sussex could be left high and dry in 2025 if Netflix pulls the plug.
If you're loving this deep dive into royal drama, make sure to and turn on notifications. We cover all the latest updates, and trust me, you want to miss what happens next. One thing is clear, this is a moment for Meghan, and the fallout is far from over. Will she manage to turn things around, or is this just the beginning of even more trouble? Let me know what you think in the comments below.